excited to share with you what experiences I feel I have to help at the Wolves Centre. Worked in the teaching field for about 7 years, teaching food tech and textiles, in particular food preparation and nutrition. I first became very interested in horticulture when we got to our new home. We had a massive garden, and it was something to do with the children really, and so we just started getting seeds and putting them in the ground and watering them, and some were very successful and some plants weren't. One year in particular, after we'd done that for about 2 years, and sometimes, like I said, some things were good, sometimes we didn't get much out of much of a harvest. So it was 2014, and I taught for a little while as a supply teacher, doing food tech, textiles, graphics, art in secondary school at key stage 3, 4 and 5 levels, and wasn't wholly comfortable and happy with the way my career was going. So just by chance I happened to be looking for an additional something to kind of boost my knowledge in food tech in particular, and I was scrolling online and I came across Organic and they were running a course, a level 1 horticulture skills course, and it was starting the following day in the morning. But I took the chance, I filled out the form and turned up the following morning at a little bit earlier than 9:30, because I knew I would have to explain, because I didn't figure that they'd get the form and be able to process me overnight kind of thing. So obviously they didn't get the form. I met a lovely lady there who asked me what I said. I'm not supposed to be here really, but I explained that I'd found the application, I'd filled it out, and she said I had a fantastically big aura and I should stay. And I said, well, I'd like to, and it's kind of evolved from there really. I completed the level 1 horticulture skills in 2014, and I stayed in 2014, and I stayed at Organically as a volunteer in some roles, and I also got paid work from the Harkwood Nursery at a school where they run a summer project where they had a beautiful little organic farm that they community and school organic farm, and in the summer holidays it was opened up for the children to come and learn about growing plants and healthy eating and things like that. So I was paid to do that for 6 weeks. During my time at Organically, I did a range of different jobs. I got involved mainly in the Wednesday sessions, where what we did, because I did food tech, there were a group of other organic growers and volunteers that like to cook. So on a Wednesday, if you worked at Organically, you got lunch, and lunch was made from the produce that came from Organically fields and the greenhouse. So we did that for a while. That was really exciting, it's a fantastic environment, because it's everybody, all the community that comes to work there, whether you're a buddy or one of the co-op directors or just popped in for the day to pick up your orders or whatever. Everybody came together and we'd eat there on a Wednesday, and then the rest of the time I volunteered during the week on different days doing different tasks. So either working in the greenhouse planting seeds, or we prepared beds for planting. Once the seeds obviously grew to a certain size, then they'd be planted out into the fields. Some plants stayed in the greenhouse. We had a massive chilli section at Harkwood Nursery, in that massive greenhouse that stayed in the greenhouse, and there were some other plants that stayed in the greenhouse as well. Tomatoes, I think, stayed in there as well, and some other plants. So I worked in the greenhouse, and that's just a general upkeep, tending the beds, replanting beds with plants for us to use to keep beds healthy and nourished. we worked out on the field, as I said, preparing the beds for planting. So if they were expanding a crop or starting something new, we prepare fresh beds. We built raised beds. I was part of the buddy scheme there, so anyone that was a volunteer there but also came with support, so they had maybe recovered from a mental illness, or they were neurodiverse. I was a buddy for anybody that was volunteering in relation to that support. I was quite privileged to do that because I'm neurodiverse myself. I'm dyslexic. However, you can, by the way I'm talking, and hopefully you've read my letter, I'm able to read and write. I use a lot of technology to support me, so it doesn't stop me doing the things that I need to do in relation to work, and that are written and spelling related. Yeah, I've worked at the youth offending team with young people. I was a sessional worker there, working directly with the young people. Then I moved into the parenting support program, where I worked with the young people and their families, and I ran projects and programs in relation to that. I think I have a number of skills in relation to all those jobs that I've done. I'm also a mum of 4 children. I'm a grandma of 3 grandchildren and counting. There's more on the way. I work a lot in the community. I'm a chair for 2 charities and a director for 2 community interest companies, and I support a community of flats, 2 flats in Leytonstone. They've got a TRA there, and I support in kind of helping with any activities they're doing, or supporting with any of their how to run, how to keep the community together, any planning. In particular at the moment with COVID, it's been difficult doing any outdoor activities, so most of the activities we've been offering have been online. And yeah, I've run community groups myself. I've run a community group where I cooked organic and vegan food for a lunch club that I run locally in a local church for about 8 months a few years ago. The next project I'm due to run is a phone befriending service in the community. I've been funded for that, but I haven't received the funding as yet. Still going through the formalities of getting all the paperwork finished for that, and that's to run for 3 months. So I pretty much work for myself now. I have done for the past year and a half, in supporting these different charities and doing projects that locally for the community. And I'm very interested in food growing, organic food growing in particular. I've always grown food, as I said, when we came here, and we've been here for 17 years now. And I still grow things, but not so much, because the garden's kind of changed and developed. We got a dog, so that changed the environment greatly. So we've just kind of settled down with him. He's not a puppy anymore, so we've kind of settled down with him and how we manage him in the garden. So we've got a lot of space at the minute that, rather than just put grass on it, I'd like to turn it into a cottage garden, and hopefully organic, and what produce I supply myself and the family, or I'd be happy to sell it outside to, cafes and restaurants and whoever wants to buy organic produce. And I'm very interested in moving it not just into just being a producer of organic food, but also putting organic food into dishes that I either serve at a cafe or sell to a local cafe, because I've produced it in our kitchens here. But to move it not just from growing, but into being more sustainable and used more widely and more available. That good, healthy, fresh food is more available locally and seasonally. So for me, it'd be a great opportunity, and I hope that the skills that I've just told you that I have and I would bring to the Wolves Centre would be very beneficial in the project as an apprentice that's on offer. So yeah, I think that's me. Thank you very much for listening to my video. I do hope that you do consider me for the role. Very dedicated and very hardworking, and like I said, very enthusiastic about organic food growing. Hopefully I hear from you. If not, I do intend to stay in contact and see what you're up to and maybe pop down sometime. Thank you again. Take care. Bye-bye.